Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and today I am going to be unboxing Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn House War from Crafty Games. Now, here's what's interesting here. So I recently went to Gamerati headquarters. They do various things for the gaming industry. They're not a publisher, but they do like distribution and marketing, that sort of thing. They had an entire table full of ding and dent games, and when I went there to play To Breeze, they said, here, if any of these are ones that you want to make content for and have, by all means take them. So that is how I ended up with this in my possession. Now, that being said, usually when I get a game, I've researched at least somewhat to get an idea if this is a game that I want, because I'm spending my money. This one I didn't spend my money on. I didn't even know was going to be available to me. I just sort of got it, and I know almost nothing about this game. Now, I know I'm not even sure that the series is called Mistborn, but I know that that's supposed to be a really good series of books, I believe. And I'm curious about it. It's very hard for me to find time to read books, which is a sad thing in my life, but regardless, it is true. But let me know if I'm really missing out and I just need to figure out a way to read these books, because I am curious. I love fantasy, so this could be fantastic. I'm very curious about it. I think, and I could be completely mistaking this with a different book series. This might be the one where people like eat metal? Am I right? Is that something different? I don't know. Anyway, let's go. I may be talking about something totally different, so, you know, don't throw rocks at me or anything. All right, let me flip this over. So, it says, Mistborn House War, an official board game set in the world of Brandon Sanderson's epic fantasy novel series. Command Luthadel's great houses during the cataclysmic event of Mistborn, the Final Empire. Face off against Kelsier, Vin, Sazed, and other heroes of the novels to maintain the delicate balance held in place for the last 1,000 years. In this game of tense negotiation and dubious alliances, you must cooperate to solve myriad problems threatening the world and compete for the Lord Ruler's favor. Save the Empire, and the player with the highest score wins. Be careful, though. Should the Empire fall, the player with the lowest score wins instead. That's a neat twist, actually. Huh. I kind of like that. I'm very curious to try that out. All right, let's see. So, as you gather resources, resources are collected from the Empire's common and limited supply. Personality cards summon special characters like Elementers, Informants, Heirs, and Haze Killers. Make deals. Bargain with resources, threats, and promises to yield the most favor at the lowest possible cost. Solve problems. Most problems require more resources than any single house can muster. Who will you bargain with to save the final empire, or will you let it collapse instead? So it sounds like it's very much like you can't, I'm guessing you cannot really avoid dealing with the other players. Now, this is a 3 to 5 player game, plays in 60 to 120 minutes. Now, I can tell you right off, every game that I get in my possession, I want to do a review of, and I'm saying that I'm planning to do a review of this. But it's going to take me a little bit to get this one played, because any game that starts at a low point of 3 is a little tough for me, just because I can always get my wife to play. It is a little harder to get together with people because of my schedule and their schedule. You know how it is, scheduling. It's tough. Also, a lot of the people we play with don't like competitive games. You know, and I don't know if this is a game where deals you make have to be held to, or if you're allowed to lie and betray each other. If you're allowed to lie and betray with each other, one of my groups that loves competitive games doesn't like that. So there's a lot of little things. There's going to be very specific groups of people that I can play this with. So I think it sounds really fascinating. And just from the back, the art looks stunning to me. So even not knowing the series, I'm really curious to try it. Anyway, I'm babbling here. Let me get into this box. You might be able to see right here, this is where it's a little munched up. You know, nothing too severe. Honestly, if this was on the shelf, it wouldn't even stop me from buying. It's a little more dented up here, but you know, some people hate that. I'm just not too bothered. Once I've played a game a few times, there's almost always some kind of little damage to it. So, you know, whatever. I'm not trying to put these in a museum. I'm just trying to play some games. As long as the box basically holds the components in, it's good. Looking at you, Lords of Waterdeep, you need a better box. I'm just going to say, if they just released a new box for that game and said, hey, you know, $10 or what, I don't know how much boxes cost, so what's reasonable, and maybe they'll give you a couple bonus cards just to be, you know, add something to it, I would go for it, because that box is cool looking, but ultimately garbage. All right. I don't know why I'm ranking Lords of Waterdeep suddenly. It's a great game. Go get it, but it just is what it is. All right, let's see if I can get this open. It's fighting with me. All right, I think we're getting it. All right, here we go. read this first. It talks about learning and teaching Mistborn. So it says hand sheet to one player in your group, have it, then read it aloud to everyone. That's interesting. As long as it's not too much, it might be okay, but there could be a lot of stuff that, like, I don't know if anyone really likes to be read to from a thing at the game table, so that we'll see, but it might be fine. Here's our, kind of breakdown of what you do on your turns and whatnot, how the game ends, etc. So, very cool. And here is our rule book. It says, if this is the first time playing, read the quick start sheet first. We're just going to flip through this, though, so I think it's okay. All right, let me see how many pages. I always like to do that. Oh, okay, so we're going... So the back is the reference. It is 24 pages if you're counting the reference. Here's some strategies and tactics tips, which is great. Otherwise, it looks like maybe the actual rules go to page 22. So, not too bad for how this game is described on the back. I mean, that doesn't seem like a surprising amount. So it's got kind of one of these long boards. So I'm just going to kind of scroll it through because there's no way I'm going to be able to catch it all on camera right now. Very pretty picture of the city this takes place in, I assume. So, very interesting. We have unrest at the bottom. I assume you don't want a lot of unrest happening. So, let's take a peek here. So, we have all kinds of tokens. I'm going to take some guesses of what they are. It looks like food, money, I don't know, crown, could be something with influence, I'm not sure. I have no idea what this symbol is. That might mean more to people who are more familiar with the book series. We have, I don't know, it might be some kind of like a work or productivity thing. It's got like a hammer and like a pitchfork. Shields, maybe there's some kind of defense-like thing. I'm going to go ahead and guess this is money, perhaps, or maybe even victory points if you tally them up like that. I'm not sure. We've got a really creepy-looking guy here that says active. He looks like he's actively creepy. That's what he looks like. We have this. We've got some ruined tokens. We have some negative things, which makes me lean more towards points than money, so that could be it. So yeah, that's that. We have a couple of miniatures here. I feel bad because I have a feeling people read the books and whatnot might have a better idea of who these characters are, but we're just going to look at them for the sake of the model. I mean, they look nice. They're not, absurdly awesome or detailed, but they're definitely good enough for a board game. Okay, can I get this out without messing him up? Okay, he's coming, I think. It is a very, bendy plastic. Like, I can take this and just kind of bend it around. I don't recommend doing that a lot, but that's okay. I mean, it's not meant to be a miniatures game, exactly. It's a game that has some miniatures. So, when I read the back, I read some character names and whatnot, and you know what? There's a good chance that I'm not pronouncing them the correct way, or I'm not pronouncing them the way that you, the listener, might pronounce them if you read the books. I don't know, so don't kill me too bad if it's like that. All right. Okay, so we have some different house cards, looks like, and then it talks a little bit about their like this one says House Alariel's leadership is cautious and maintains diversified assets throughout the final empire. So interesting. So we have House Hastings. Oh boy. He looks stuffy and annoying. I don't know if he is. House Lekal, I'm not sure. Steel Ministry. Gross. Looks like he got his eyes jabbed out. Don't do that. Don't jab your eyes out. House Tekiel. House Venture. House Buvidas. House Erikel. She looks cool. She's going to beat you up. House Erikeller. House Hot. And House Urbane. Very nice. Interesting looking characters. So, if you read this book, I'm curious, because it doesn't strike me as being like medieval fantasy. It looks like it's, a little bit later if you compare it to our timelines anyway. But, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. But some of those outfits seem to be more... I am not an expert on this, by the way. Maybe 1800s? I'm not sure. But, anyway. Alright, so we have a lot of cards here. They all have a Roman numeral at the top. Looks like 3s or 1s so far. There might be 2s in there too, but I'm not seeing them yet. So, I'm actually going to tilt it that way. Vicious Gossip. I'm curious how these all play into the game. But pretty good art. I mean, some of it is better than others, I feel like. I think it's all the same artist, but I think it's just preference. Some of them I don't. I'm not super excited how the characters look on some of them, but some of them I am. But I don't want to read these because I don't know if these are meant to be sort of like a secret thing or what. Although I suppose once you've played a couple games, you probably would have seen them, but interesting. All right. So there's those. And let's get into this other deck over here. So it kind of looks like it's mostly, you know, probably card-based play and then, of course, negotiation. Now, what I wonder is how much negotiation affects the length of this game, because, you know, some people really like to spend a lot of time on negotiation when that's a factor, which is cool. I get it. But, like, man, sometimes it could be difficult. So, all right, I have agricultural advisor, agricultural heir, agricultural informant. I'm having trouble with that word. Coin shot. Okay, so all those. Con artist. Financial advisor. Financial informant. Did I miss somebody? Yeah, financial heir. Okay. Haze killer. I'm curious what that means. If you know what this means, let me know. I'm curious. Haze killer. Okay. Honor hostage. Candra spy. Labor heir. Labor informant. Lesser noble. Lurcher. Military advisor. Mistborn. Obligator. Political advisor. Political heir. What I think is funny is they use like the same person for a lot of these different kinds of heirs and whatnot, and then different background, which is sort of weird to me. It's fine. I just I don't know about how paying for art goes, but it seems like if you're gonna have someone paint the background, couldn't they just paint like one more person in the foreground? Would it be that big a difference? I don't know. Maybe it makes more sense as you play. I'm not sure. Provocateur, recruiter, rioter, seeker, slanderer. Oh, that's not good. Smoker, soother, thug. That gal's out there whooping on the guards, it looks like. That's cool. Tin Eye. Lane Bavidas. Lyric Bavidas. Shan Alariel. These are specific characters, it looks like. Tearing Dwell. Durant Erikel. Triss Erikel. Ilana Erikeller. Petter Erikeller. Teldon Hastings. Agna Hastings. Alster Hott. Klessa Hott. Justas Lacal. Ostis Lacal. The High Prelan. Steel Inquisitor. Miriam Tekiel. Salmon Tekiel. Turner Urbane. Delina Urbane. Straff Venture. Ellen Venture. All right. That's it. Those are all the components. And I am very curious how this game works. It'll be an interesting one to try to figure out. But I've got to get the group together who's willing to try such a game, which I can find them. They're out there. I have people that I've got in mind even that would play this, I think. But I've got to get to the table. So we'll see. If you've played this game, definitely let me know what you think about it. I'm really, really curious because it looks really fascinating to me. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. If you enjoyed that video, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
If you like any of our videos, what you should do is click this little button to subscribe so you'll know about the next time we put out a video.
We'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.